Lord Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril Methodius Orthodox Church. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor here in Madison, Wisconsin. It's good to be with you this afternoon on this Saturday, August the 7th. I want to talk to you a little bit about being an Orthodox Christian in a heterodox nation. But before I do that, I want to ask if you're watching this on YouTube, would you please take a moment and subscribe to our channel? That really helps us. We're trying to build our subscription. Sort of a good thing if we want to do like lets us upload things in different ways. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching on my personal Facebook page, hope you can give me a thumbs up. If you're watching it on the parish Facebook page, again, thumbs up, but also maybe subscribe to our page just so that we can build our base a little bit. So I want to talk to you about being an Orthodox Christian living in a heterodox nation. On August 15th, my wife and I will have been Orthodox for 30 years. So that's really quite a long time. It's basically half my life. It's more than half of her life. But that's the Orthodox part. But what do I mean when I say heterodox nation? Now, the temptation is to think that what I mean is that America is primarily a Protestant or a heterodox country. And on a cultural level, certainly that's true. But the fact of the matter is that all nations, all governments, to the degree that they are institutions simply of this world, and as the result of the consequence of our fallen state, are necessarily heterodox. No nation, no matter how ostensibly Christian or Orthodox Christian, can really claim to not be anything other than a mix of truth and error, which is what heterodox means. Now, to be sure, that heterodoxy allows for the church to have greater or lesser amounts of freedom. Sometimes the freedom that we have, say here in the U.S., is fairly wide. Other times, say like in the former Soviet Union, that freedom was fairly narrowly defined. But the thing is that freedom is always exercised on the margin. And so when we talk about being Orthodox in a heterodox context, what I'm really talking about, is challenging people to try and find where they have the possibility of exercising freedom in a creative fashion to proclaim the gospel. Excuse me, it's August. I always have sinus problems in August. So that's what we're looking for here. Well, actually, wherever we live, but especially here in America. And freedom in America is an interesting thing. Americans value freedom. We value the freedom of the individual. And in the main, this is a good thing. But this freedom can be very corrosive, or actually, maybe a better way to put it is how we respond, how we use the freedom that we have can be corrosive. Orthodox Christians as a group tend to be very well educated. We tend to be young. We tend to be fairly wealthy. But we also tend to be taking our values not from the gospel, not from holy tradition, but from the surrounding culture. And so our use of freedom, American freedom, is mixed at best. In the material, social dimension, it's been great, but as far as the integrity of the gospel, we really have suffered. So what do we do then? Well, I think we need to do this: learn to exercise our freedom in a way that allows us to grow in holiness, and not simply to accept without critical thought the opinions of the world. When the students come back here in a couple of weeks, one of the things I'm going to tell them is that, when you're in a university, you're going to be asked to examine your presuppositions, and those include the presuppositions of your faith. And this is a good thing, is a very good thing, because God is always beyond what we know or what we don't know, as St. Gregory Palamas says. But we also need to be willing to return the favor and examine the presuppositions of the questions that people bring to us. That's what we have to do as Orthodox Christians. Not just examine our own faith, examine ourselves, but also the faith of the people around us and the faith of our critics. So that's just something I'd suggest. Well, it is just coming up on 4 o'clock, so I've got to get ready for Vespers. Hopefully someone will be here to help serve Vespers. Hopefully you'll be able to get to Vespers in your church, wherever you live, or liturgy tomorrow morning. If you're here in Madison, hopefully you can be with us tomorrow morning if you don't have a church that you attend. We're at 1020 Regent Street, the lower level. So hopefully you can be here with us. But if not, hopefully you'll be able to go to church somewhere. Well, I got a scoop. So God bless everyone, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.